In a world clamoring for attention, where every moment is filled with noise and distraction, there exists a profound, often overlooked source of power: silence. Not merely the absence of sound, but a deep, resonant stillness that holds the key to self-discovery, inner peace, and unparalleled wisdom. Imagine a sanctuary within yourself, untouched by the chaos of the external world, a place where clarity blossoms and true understanding takes root. This is the realm of silence, a timeless teaching that has guided seekers for centuries. What if the most powerful conversations you could ever have you ever not been with others but with the quiet whispers of your own soul? What if the greatest strength lay not in what you say, but in the profound depth of your unspoken presence? Join us as we journey into the heart of this ancient wisdom, uncovering the transformative power that lies within the sacred art of silence. The still lake, a mirror to your true self, in the bustling tapestry of modern existence, where the cacophony of daily life often drowns out the subtle melodies of our inner world, the concept of silence can seem elusive, almost an anachronism. Yet, ancient wisdom traditions, particularly those rooted in Buddhist philosophy, consistently point to silence not as an absence, but as a profound presence, a fertile ground from which true self-awareness springs. Imagine, if you will, a serene mountain lake, its surface unruffled by wind or current. In such a state of perfect stillness, the lake becomes a flawless mirror, reflecting with pristine clarity the towering peaks, the azure sky, and the verdant forests that surround it. Every detail, every nuance of the external world is captured without distortion. This vivid imagery serves as a powerful analogy for the human mind in a state of profound silence. When our minds are agitated, when they are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, the incessant notifications, the endless stream of information, the demands of work and social life, they become like that lake stirred by a storm. The surface is choppy, turbulent, incapable of reflecting anything with accuracy. In such a state, our perception of ourselves, of our true nature, becomes equally distorted. We lose touch with our authentic being, mistaking the fleeting thoughts, the transient emotions, and the external roles we play for the entirety of who we are. The Buddhist teachings emphasize that true silence is not merely the cessation of external noise, but the quieting of the internal chatter, the relentless monologue of the ego, the anxieties about the future, the regrets of the past. It is in this profound internal stillness that the mind begins to settle, much like the disturbed waters of the lake, gradually becoming calm. As the ripples subside, the mind's surface becomes clear, capable of reflecting our true inner landscape. This reflection reveals not just our aspirations and our strengths, but also our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our unresolved conflicts. It is a process of unvarnishing truth, a courageous confrontation with the self, free from the usual defenses and distractions. This self-discovery is not about finding something new, but about rediscovering what has always been there, obscured by the layers of conditioning and external expectations. It is about peeling back the superficial, to reveal the core essence, the inherent wisdom and compassion that resides within each of us. The still lake, therefore, is not just a metaphor for a calm mind, but for the profound capacity of silence to act as a mirror, showing us our true reflection, unblemished and whole. It is an invitation to look inward, to truly see and understand the magnificent, complex being that you are, beyond the fleeting illusions of the external world. This journey into the self, facilitated by the power of silence, is the first step towards genuine inner peace and lasting serenity. The strength in restraint, when silence speaks louder than words. In a society that often equates value with vocal expression, where the loudest voices frequently dominate the discourse, the notion of strength in restraint can seem counterintuitive. Yet, the ancient Buddhist teachings offer a profound perspective. True power often resides not in the clamor of words, but in the deliberate, mindful choice of silence. This isn't about suppression or timidity. It's about a cultivated discipline, a strategic pause that allows for deeper understanding and more impactful communication. The Buddha himself, in his infinite wisdom, often taught through example, demonstrating that silence could be a more potent teacher than any sermon. He understood that the constant need to fill every void with sound, every moment with opinion, often dilutes the very message one wishes to convey. Consider the profound impact of a well-timed silence in a heated argument, or the quiet strength of a leader who listens intently before offering a measured response. These instances are not signs of weakness, but rather demonstrations of a profound inner fortitude, a mastery over the impulsive urge to react. The strength in restraint is a lesson in self-control, a practice that cultivates patience and discernment. It teaches us to speak only when our words can genuinely improve upon the silence, when they can add value, clarity, or compassion to a situation. This principle challenges the modern compulsion to constantly articulate, to always have an answer, to fill every conversational gap. Instead, it invites us to embrace the discomfort of quiet, to allow space for thoughts to coalesce, for emotions to settle, and for deeper truths to emerge. When we choose silence, we are not merely holding back words, we are engaging in an active process of internal reflection. We are giving ourselves the opportunity to truly process information, to consider multiple perspectives, and to formulate responses that are not driven by ego or immediate gratification, but by wisdom and genuine intent. This deliberate pause allows us to avoid hasty judgments, to prevent misunderstandings, and to foster an environment where genuine connection can flourish. It is a powerful antidote to the superficiality of constant chatter, a pathway to more meaningful interactions and a more profound sense of presence. Moreover, the strength in restraint extends beyond verbal communication. Encompasses the ability to resist the urge to constantly seek external validation, to refrain from impulsive actions, and cultivate a calm demeanor amidst chaos. This inner discipline builds resilience, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity. When we are able to hold our tongue, to pause before reacting, we gain a significant advantage in managing our emotions and influencing outcomes. We become less susceptible to manipulation and more capable of making conscious choices that align with our values. This practice transforms us from reactive beings to proactive agents of our own lives, capable of wielding silence as a tool for profound personal growth and impactful engagement with the world. It is a testament to the idea that true power is not about dominance or volume, but about the quiet, unwavering control of one's inner landscape, allowing silence to become a powerful expression of wisdom and strength. Listening as an act of love, the unspoken language of connection. In a world increasingly characterized by rapid-fire exchanges and the pervasive need to be heard, the art of listening has become a rare and precious commodity. Yet within the profound teachings of Buddhism, listening is elevated beyond a mere passive reception of sound. It is presented as an active, compassionate engagement, an act of profound love that fosters genuine connection and understanding. True listening in this context is not simply waiting for your turn to speak, nor is it merely processing the words being uttered. It is a deep, empathetic immersion into the speaker's experience, an attempt to grasp not just the explicit message, but also the underlying emotions, the unspoken anxieties, and the subtle nuances that often convey more meaning than the words themselves. This form of listening requires a profound level of presence, a willingness to set aside one's own agenda, biases, and preconceived notions, and to fully open oneself to the other. Imagine a conversation where you are not formulating your response while the other person is speaking, but rather you are fully present, absorbing every inflection, every pause, every subtle shift in their demeanor. This is the essence of listening as an act of love. It is a radical act of empathy, a conscious decision to create a safe and non-judgmental space for another human being to express themselves fully. When we listen, in this way, we are not just hearing with our ears. We are listening with our hearts, with our intuition, and with our entire being. This deep listening transcends the superficiality of transactional communication and delves into the realm of true human connection. Acknowledges the inherent worth and dignity of the speaker, validating their experience, and making them feel truly seen and understood. In a world where many feel isolated and unheard, the simple act of truly listening can be a powerful balm, fostering a sense of belonging and mutual respect. Furthermore, this empathetic listening is intrinsically linked to the power of silence. It is in the quiet spaces between words, in the moments of shared stillness, that the deepest understanding often emerges. When we are truly listening, we are not filling the silence with our own thoughts or judgments. Instead, we are allowing the unspoken to surface, giving space for the other person to articulate their deepest feelings, even those they may not have consciously recognized themselves. This creates a profound resonance, shared field of understanding that goes beyond the limitations of language. It is in these moments of silent attunement that true intimacy is forged, whether in personal relationships, professional collaborations, or even in our interactions with the wider world. The Buddhist tradition teaches that compassion arises from this deep understanding, and understanding is born from genuine listening. Therefore, by cultivating the practice of listening as an act of love, we not only enrich our own lives and relationships, but also contribute to a more compassionate and interconnected world, where the unspoken language of the heart can truly be heard and cherished. The seed of wisdom, cultivating insight in quiet spaces. In an age dominated by instant gratification and the relentless pursuit of external knowledge, the profound truth that wisdom often blossoms in the quietude of inner reflection is frequently overlooked. Buddhist philosophy, with its emphasis on mindfulness and introspection, consistently highlights silence not as an empty void, but as a fertile ground, a sanctuary for the mind where deep insights can emerge and flourish. This concept challenges the conventional understanding that learning primarily occurs through active engagement with external information. Instead, it posits that true wisdom, the kind that transforms understanding into profound insight, is cultivated in moments of stillness, when the mind is free from the incessant demands of the external world and the clamor of its own internal dialogue. Consider the analogy of a seed. A seed, though small and seemingly inert, contains within it the blueprint for a magnificent tree. However, for that potential to be realized, the seed requires specific conditions: fertile soil, water, sunlight, and, crucially, a period of quiet dormancy, a time for internal processing and germination. Similarly, our minds are constantly bombarded with information, experiences, and ideas. These are the seeds of potential wisdom, but without the quiet spaces for reflection, without the opportunity for these seeds to settle and germinate, they remain dormant, unintegrated, and ultimately unmanifested as true insight. Silence provides this essential environment. It is in these moments of quiet contemplation that disparate pieces of information can connect, that patterns can be recognized, and that deeper meanings can be revealed. It is where the superficial layers of understanding are peeled away, exposing the core truths that lie beneath. This cultivation of wisdom in quiet spaces is not about intellectualizing or analyzing in a conventional sense. It is a more intuitive process, a gentle unfolding of understanding that arises when the mind is receptive and open. When we create moments of silence in our lives, whether through meditation, mindful walking, or simply by stepping away from distractions, we are essentially tilling the soil of our minds, preparing it to receive and nurture the seeds of wisdom. In these quiet moments, our intuition sharpens, our creativity flows more freely, and we become more attuned to the subtle whispers of insights that are often drowned out by the noise of daily life. The great thinkers, artists, and spiritual leaders throughout history have consistently emphasized the importance of solitude and silence in their pursuit of profound understanding. They understood that true breakthroughs often occur not in the midst of frantic activity, but in the serene stillness that allows for deep introspection and the unhindered flow of consciousness. By embracing silence, we are not merely escaping the noise. We are actively engaging in the profound process of cultivating inner wisdom, allowing the seeds of knowledge to blossom into transformative insights that guide our lives with clarity and purpose. The balance of mind and speech, the art of harmonious expression. In the intricate dance of human interaction, the interplay between our thoughts, our words, and the moments of silence that punctuate them forms the very rhythm of communication. Buddhist philosophy, with its profound insights into the nature of mind and reality, offers a powerful teaching on achieving a harmonious balance between speech and silence, recognizing that true wisdom lies not in an abundance of words, but in their mindful and measured application. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the ancient adage, "Let your words be few and seasoned with silence." It is an invitation to consider the profound impact of our verbal expressions, urging us to cultivate a deliberate awareness of when to speak, what to say, and, crucially, when to remain silent. In a world that often rewards verbosity and quick responses, this teaching encourages a more contemplative approach, one that values depth and authenticity over mere volume. This balance is not about stifling expression or becoming reticent. Rather, it is about elevating the quality and impact of our communication. When our words are seasoned with silence, they carry a greater weight, a deeper resonance. This means pausing before speaking, allowing our thoughts to fully form, and considering the potential impact of our words. It is about speaking with intention, rather than simply reacting. The practice of mindful speech, therefore, is inextricably linked to the cultivation of inner silence. When our minds are calm and clear, our words are more likely to be coherent, compassionate, and constructive. Conversely, when our minds are agitated and cluttered, our speech often reflects that internal disarray, leading to misunderstandings, conflict, and regret. Consider the profound difference between a torrent of unexamined words and a few carefully chosen phrases delivered with presence and conviction. The latter, though perhaps less in quantity, often carries far more power and leaves a lasting impression. This balance also extends to the art of listening. True communication is a dynamic interplay of speaking and listening, and silence plays a crucial role in both. It is in the pauses that we allow space for the other person to contribute, for ideas to be fully absorbed, and for a genuine dialogue to unfold. The Buddhist perspective on speech is not about censorship, but about responsibility. It encourages us to ask ourselves, are my words true? Are they kind? Are they necessary? Are they helpful? By applying these filters, we not only refine our communication, but also cultivate a more compassionate and harmonious relationship with ourselves and with others. This mindful approach to speech, rooted in the balance of mind and silence, transforms communication from a mere exchange of information into an art form, a powerful tool for connection, understanding, and the cultivation of wisdom in every interaction.